Hey YouTube, this is Robert Ness816 and this is going to be a little follow-up video to cleaning up your games. So in the last video I showed you how to use contact cleaner to make your games look all shiny and new and work the first time every time, assuming your console is in good condition. So your game now has really clean contacts, so shouldn't the shell be really clean? So got a little bit of grease here on the sides, or whatever that is, dust, dirt, who knows, 30 years old. The back is yellowed, but not too much we can do about that without destroying the back label, but I'm not really too concerned about that. More concerned with getting this shit off of it and making it look better. The label has a little bit of crap on it, but it's in good shape, so let's make this old copy of UN Squadron look like new again, or close to it. So a little word of warning here, guys, before we dig into this. So some Super Nintendo games, particularly newer ones, have very, very shitty labels. I mean, you can probably print out a better label from your printer. So they have very shitty, cheap paper labels on them, like this copy of Miss Pac-Man here. And usually these games would be accompanied by a back label here. I'm gonna give out someone's name on the internet, but if they see this they'll remember their old Super Nintendo game. So Casey Patterson here bought a very new copy of Miss Pac-Man, and it has a stamped sticker on the back of it, and that is one way to tell that you have a very new Super Nintendo game. This doesn't mean it's a repro, it just means it's a cheap, shitty Mexican copy. And these games most of the time are built with good plastics. The boards in them are good, but the labels in them are complete junk. So oftentimes you'll see them ripped like this one. They'll be very faded. The corners will always be worn. Good examples of expensive games with shitty labels would be Super Mario RPG, Yoshi's Island. Doom has a very shitty label. What else? I think Super Turrican 2, I think, has a very crappy label on it, I believe, and that's also a really expensive game. I mean, there's a lot of expensive Super Nintendo games out there that have really shitty labels because Nintendo really cheaped out on them. Other games that have crappy labels, most of the time your Genesis games are going to have shitty labels. They just tend to wear away and stuff. A lot of the newer ones too, like the Super Nintendo games, tend to wear away. Your NES labels for the most part are good because Nintendo kept that nice clear coating over their labels throughout the entire lifespan of the Nintendo Entertainment System. The only issue with these is that the very late release games have an issue with the top label popping off because I think the glue they used was crap, but for the most part the labels are good. Early Super Nintendo games that have like this whole full bottom piece here are almost guaranteed to have good labels, so they'll be much more durable. You can see how they have like that clear sort of shine to them. Very good labels, very good label on this game. So yeah, just a little word of warning. Be mindful of your game's labels because you can destroy it like I did once and then got angry. Oh, Final Fight 3. Final Fight 3 is another expensive game that has a really shitty label. Alright, so you've brushed away all the crap from the crevices in your game, and as you can see as I tilt it to the side, all the crap that's seeped out and dried onto the surface now. So what you'll need now is a microfiber cloth, and again with a little bit of rubbing alcohol you can remove all of that from the surface, again keeping in mind not to touch the label. Leave that alone. So we'll cut back to the scene again after I've cleaned that all off. So there you have it, guys. That looks great. So I wiped it all down with rubbing alcohol. The label I wiped down with a damp cloth with water and a little bit of dishwashing soap. You can see there's scratches on it and stuff like that just from being bounced around over time. But this is a really nice copy of California Games 2. And the plastic on this shell is great. So on the inside too, I cleaned it up a little bit. This was fine, just where the cartridge is, that always tends to get a little disgusting from people blowing in there and stuff like that. So again, with the toothbrush, just scrub it out there, and it'll usually clean up just fine. So let's show you how the other games turned out. And yeah, that's why I like to clean these things up. They're like gooey disgustingness in there. Is that's really gross. So that's why I'm really picky about my games, because I like to keep them clean and not think about what they went through before I got them, because yeah, there's some nasty shit on them. Alright guys, we're back and the finished product is something that I can be proud of. So we'll just take a close-up of each game here and just show you guys what little tiny bit of elbow grease here can do. If I can get in focus, there we go, to an old game. So there you go, all nice and clean. There's the back. Back looks all nice and happy. So these are games that I am now very happy to own. Nice, clean cartridge connectors, and they work. So there you go. I have a feeling this game's going to disappoint me though, but I don't really care because it looks cool. And also for $3, why would I complain? But look at how nice and happy and clean these things look, huh? I mean, like, 2 seconds. It still has a little bit of blemishing here from, just age and, yellowing and whatnot. But it's really hardly noticeable, so who cares? It looks good to me. That's the main thing, is that it's all nice and happy and clean. And here's Pac-Man. So Miss Pac-Man is, it looks better. Label's still fucked on it, but who cares? Name came off for the most part. I can still work it a little bit harder if I wanted to and get it off, but I think this game I'll probably search for a nicer copy one day. Preferably an older copy with a nicer label. And Rescue. So this game I played, it's pretty fucking hard, but yeah, nice and clean. A little bit of repair work up there to the label too. Some black permanent marker and some Elmer's glue to kind of stick down the part of the label that was sticking up, but yeah, other than that though, cleaned up really nice. So Echo, The Tides of Time. So this is Echo 2, never played it yet. Typical for newer Genesis cartridges to have where the glue will bleed through the label a little bit. That pretty much happens on 99% of the newer cartridges, which you can tell by having the textured finish. Older Genesis carts don't have that, but cleaned up really good though. This one was actually the dustiest of them all, and it looks great. And then the Game Gear game. So this is GP Rider. Never played this game, never heard of it, but I bought it, so $3, whatever. And it is in fantastic condition. Really nothing to clean up on this game except for the board, but hey, whatever. So there you go, guys. Nice games for me, if I can focus the damn camera correctly. And that's it, guys. I hope you got something out of this video. So you don't need to use any crazy chemicals for cleaning these things up. Just pretty much rubbing alcohol works really good. A toothbrush, microfiber towel, soapy water, and that's really it. So, and always remember limitations on the soapy water. So like I said, newer Super Nintendo cartridges like this one suck. Older Super Nintendo cartridges are great. Some Genesis cartridges, like these newer ones here, they kind of blow, but whatever. Game Gear cartridges are fairly good, except for the black Majesco ones, they suck. Nintendo cartridges are generally good, except for the last batch of cartridges, which have kind of crappy glue, which only seems to affect the top part of the label here, which tends to come up, but that can be fixed too. I have Wario's Woods where the top of the label was coming up, but I glued it back down. It's been fine for several months now. So anyways, there you go. Clean cartridges, and that's that.